Welcome to Vision ProNotes. I'm Marty, a faculty member at a Midwest university, a podcaster, and an Apple product fan, and also co-host of Vision Profiles along with Eric Bolden, Dave Ginsburg, and Daniel Burkholder. We're doing these ProNotes as kind of a supplement to our weekly podcast and vodcast, which happens on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. More about that in a minute. Now, throughout the week, though, prior to the Monday nights, we're going to be putting out these 5 or 10-minute little news items to keep you up to date with what's new in the news that we'll talk about more on Vision Profiles on Monday nights. So you can expect a Monday morning, Wednesday morning, and Friday morning. And then you can listen to the show on Monday night, live streamed at youtube.com/@visionprofiles, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can catch the video later on YouTube or the audio on any podcatcher that you please to listen to us on. We'll be on all of them. So today's Vision Pro Note is a comment on 2 current news items. I have been searching and looking for materials since our last show and can come back to a couple of news items that I'd like to share with you, and we'll continue to talk about it on our next show on Monday. So the first one is this article that was produced just today on 9 to 5 Mac, and it's an article by Ben Lovejoy. And I like some of his work. I argue and disagree with others of his work, but this one I think is really spot on. And the article is, Could Smart Goggles Be the Bridge Between Vision Pro and Apple Glasses? So he's looking at the possibility of some type of goggle or more glass-focused type of device that would be kind of a bridge down from the Vision Pro. And the Vision Pro, has its primary purpose, and it has lots of computing integration, and it's really kind of big in media use and watching media with it. The new Vision Pro or Vision Pro 2, depending on how you look at it, is probably more than a couple of years away, maybe 2028. I'm talking about Ming-Chi Kuo's predictions from a couple of weeks ago that has kind of permeated the news for the last 2 weeks, that probably a Vision Pro 2 we're not going to see till 2028. But in between there, we could see some version of glasses or other types of Vision Pro Lite or Vision Pro Air, as folks have termed to it. And that's what he's talking about here. Particularly since Meta has come out with the Ray-Bans and now they're coming out with the Oakleys. They're kind of going for the design look. The Meta Ray-Bans, and from what I can tell from the Meta Oakleys, they're doing the same sort of low-level function, video, maybe some things tied into, questions and queries that you can ask. By video, I mean recording video, not necessarily playing video like the Meta headset might do or Apple Vision Pro might do. But so these are kind of low-level functions with the glasses currently. And I think Apple, when they produce theirs, which probably won't be until 2027, if that's what the predictions are, they'll have some other functionality in it that is an in-between what Meta Ray-Bans are currently doing and Meta Oakleys are currently doing and what Vision Pro can do. So I'm thinking kinds of things they might do are maybe notifications, maybe some on-glass notifications. So as the old Apple Glass or Google Glass used to do, you'd have a little bit of a text that would come across through the prism and then onto your glass where you would see and get notifications with it. And so some connection to a Apple device that would allow you to do mail, easy kind of responses to messages, notifications, calendar, maybe even directions. And we've talked about that on the show before, where Apple Maps was incorporated into it to give you live walking directions or directions through the glass or through some function of the glass. So I think, Apple's not going to create a headset necessarily. Well, the future headsets, the Apple Vision Pro 2, will probably be lighter, faster, new processors, new cameras. That's going to be the sweet stuff that people are going to want in 2028 with Vision Pro 2. There is a talk that we will have a Vision Pro with a new chip in it. And the question that we had on the last show, is it going to be an M4 or is it going to be an M5? Or are they going to move it from an R1 to an R2? Those kind of chip bumps and not necessarily much else in the headset could come out with this Vision Pro 1 extension or, new edition, if you want to call it. But Vision Pro 2 probably have a lot of, again, high functioning cameras and chips in them. And the glasses will be somewhere in between with that. And and if there is an Air, there'll be a lighter, tech lighter version of it. But I really don't see Apple doing a tech lighter version of it. I see it really bifurcating between the Vision Pro and the Apple glasses. So this article is an interesting article. Ben Lovejoy, 9 to 5 Mac. We will have the link in the show notes, whether you're watching the video or whether you are watching or listening to the podcast. You can find the link and you can take a look at the article yourself. Now, I want to go to a second one that is a brief comment on this. This came out of Fortune, actually. I think it first post of this I saw was in Yahoo Finance, it might have been. And this was TikTok's owner, which is ByteDance. And Daniel referred to this and reminded us. The article talks about TikTok, but really ByteDance is the big company behind all of this. They're looking at building their own headset to compete with Apple Vision Pro and Meta Quest. Very little details in here about this, other than claims this comes from the Information and pretty reliable source that ByteDance will be working with Pico, and Pico has already done some glasses and headsets. They made the Pico 4 VR headset, and they're reporting that they're doing some creation of goggles for ByteDance, and that would then compete with MetaQuest and Apple Vision Pro. Not a lot to say what would go into it. They're going to claim that it's, of course, going to be small and lightweight, and they're not going to be focused on fashion like right now Meta seems to be with the Ray-Bans and the Oakleys. And they're building specialized chips for it that will process data to minimize lag or latency in it. No pricing is set, of course. Here's the catch. The catch is ByteDance has had a complicated political history right now with the U.S. It goes along with the issues they're dealing with TikTok. And, the current administration has offered to find a buyer to make an American version of TikTok. And that just is still in the gray crazy area. So we don't know if that'll ever happen. Pico does not distribute in North America. They distribute only in other markets and certainly not in the U.S. market. So, these glasses could come out and we'd never see them domestically or any connection to be able to buy them in a way here in the U.S. But it's interesting that it seems like ByteDance / TikTok wants to get into the Google the goggles or the vision headsets kind of market. So those are two we'll take a look at. We'll talk more about the next show that we do on Monday, and check us out Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube, youtube.com/@visionprofiles. And we'll have this and other stories. And as I said, you'll see more ProNotes coming out in the week, every other day before the next show. So look for us there. Thank you for tuning in. We'd love to hear from our listeners. If you have any ideas or, you want to join an episode, email us at thepodtalk network@gmail.com. Love to have you on an episode as an outside person coming in to comment on some of the articles that we're going to be sharing and what we're going to be doing. You can learn more about us and Vision Profiles and Vision ProNotes podcast at our website, thepodtalk.net. Spread the word to other visionaries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.